In today's video, I am going to explain anatomy of muscles that are around scapula, and I will explain why why today's anatomy is important. This is scapula. This is right side scapula. There are a lot of muscles attaching around scapula. So I will explain muscle anatomy from superficial layer to deep layer. Let's go to superficial layer. First muscle I want to explain is this one. This is big muscle. This is trapezius. Trapezius. I want you to focus on attachment around this area. It is about here. What is this bony structure? What is the name of this part? This is spine of scapula. Spine of scapula. Trapezius attaches to here. Okay. Now if you go a little bit outside, if you go lateral, trapezius attaches to this part. This is acromion. Acromion. Okay. Spine of scapula right here. And acromion. By the way, trapezius attaches to clavicle partially, but I want to focus on scapula, so I will not include clavicle in today's video. Trapezius, spine of scapula, and acromion. This is kind of superior part of spine of scapula. If you go a little bit inferior part, you see different muscle. What is this big one? This is big shoulder muscle. This muscle attaches to spine of scapula and acromion. This is deltoid. Deltoid, particularly middle fiber and posterior fiber. Anterior fiber attaches to clavicle as well, but I want to focus on scapula today. Deltoid, posterior fiber and middle fiber. C. Scapula, spine of scapula. On superior part, trapezius attaches here. On inferior part, it's about here, right? Deltoid attaches. So if you divide, superior part or inferior part, you will see different angle. On superior part, trapezius attaches to. On inferior part, deltoid attaches to. See, this is one name. This is one part. This is spine of scapula. But if you go detailed anatomy, now you see different structure. You see muscle from different angle. Does it make sense? Anyway, this is spine of scapula, trapezius and deltoid. Let's go to deeper layer. Okay, this is deeper layer. You don't see trapezius and deltoid. I want to focus on one more big muscle. That's this one. This is latissimus dorsi. Latissimus dorsi. Actually, this muscle partially attaches to scapula. This blue part is inferior angle. Inferior angle. Latissimus dorsi, tiny bit partially attaches to inferior angle. Look at size of latissimus dorsi. It's huge muscle, and attachment surface on scapula is very tiny, but it's still attaching here, so it's good to know. If you focus on inferior angle, maybe that's stretching. Maybe you stretch, maybe you do manual therapy, you do body work, Pilates, yoga, and if you focus on inferior angle, maybe that stretching, that stimulus affects to latissimus dorsi. Same thing for trapezius and deltoid. If you focus around spine of scapula on superior part, you can access to trapezius. If you go inferior part, you can access to deltoid. See, knowing anatomy is very, very important. Now let's go back to spine of scapula. If you go and even slightly inferior, you see broad muscle. What is this one? This is infraspinatus. Infraspinatus. And if you go a little bit superior, you see this one. This is supraspinatus. Supraspinatus. These two muscles do not attach to spine of scapula, but these guys are very close to spine of scapula. So if you do manual therapy, Then if you can find where spinal scapula is, you go a little bit inferior, there's infraspinatus. If you go a little bit superior, there is supraspinatus. And even though you don't know how to do manual therapy, you only know stretching, yoga, Pilates, but it's good to know anatomy. You can find spinal scapula. Then if you go inferior, you can find infraspinatus. Having visualization in your head is very important for athletic performance, for yoga, Pilates, manual therapy. Anatomy helps for many things. Very important subject. Does it make sense? It's very, very important. Now let's go to medial part. This part is medial border. Medial border. Two muscles attached to here. But I see this muscle as one muscle. This is rhomboid. Rhomboid. If you want to divide, there's rhomboid major and rhomboid minor. Smaller one is rhomboid minor. Bigger one is rhomboid major. You can say rhomboid minor and rhomboid major or rhomboid. I prefer calling this muscle as rhomboid. This is just my preference. This is on medial border. Okay, that attaches to medial border. And let's go to superficial layer. Trapezius is superficial to medial border. This muscle does not attach to medial border, but this is on medial border. So if you focus on medial border, you can access to rhomboid. Plus, you can focus to trapezius. Again, trapezius does not attach to medial border, but the muscle is on medial border. So if you know how to do myofascial release here, you can approach to rhomboid plus trapezius. See, very important place. Now, if you go a little bit superior from medial border, you find another muscle. This is levator scapula. Levator scapula. This muscle is on medial border partially plus superior angle. This part is superior angle. This part gets easily tight because of our modern lifestyle. We see smartphone, we see tablet, we see TV, we see computer, then our head position tends to go forward. Head forward position put a lot of stress around levator scapula plus trapezius. Trapezius again. And trapezius is on levator scapula. Trapezius is superficial from levator scapula. So it's like medial border. Trapezius does not attach to superior angle, but that muscle is on superior angle. If you can palpate superior angle and you somehow know how to approach here, you can access both for trapezius and levator scapula. Levator scapula and trapezius are very important for frozen shoulder, stiff shoulder, shoulder pain, very important place. And if you know how to find here, you can apply today's anatomy for stretching, weight training, exercise, yoga, Pilates, and for manual therapy. I have to keep repeating. Knowing anatomy is very important. Now let's go to one more structure. Last place is this part. This is lateral border. Lateral border, which is about here. Basically, there are two muscles. Well, infraspinatus is partially on lateral border, but I already talked about infraspinatus, so I want to focus on two other muscles. First one is this one. This is teres minor. Teres minor. Then if you go a little bit inferior, this one is teres major. Teres major. These two muscles are important for shoulder rotation. By the way, infraspinatus is also important for shoulder rotation. So basically, muscles on lateral border are important for rotation. Oh, by the way, let me explain one more thing. Again, this is medial border. If you go a little bit lateral from medial border, there's rhomboid, plus, trapezius is on medial border. If you go lateral from medial border, what's there? There is infraspinatus. So it's like spine of scapula. If you go a little bit superior, there is trapezius and infraspinatus. If you go inferior, there is infraspinatus. So name of landmark is kind of a one thing, right? Does it make sense? You know what I'm talking about? This is spinal scapula. You don't separate kind of a superior border of spinal scapula or inferior border of spinal scapula. So is like medial border. You don't separate this part as medial part of medial border or lateral part of medial border. You know what I'm talking about? So I sometimes prefer to look anatomy very detailed from different angle. I hope today's anatomy helps your career. If you liked today's video, please hit the like button, comment and subscribe. See you next video.